Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nityalapa Vishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shrimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nityalapa Vishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shrimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityalapa Vishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shrimar Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Nityalapa Vishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shrimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalapa Vishtam Mahabhagavat Śrīla Bhakti Maharaj ki jai. Nityalapa Vishtam Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Nityalapa Vishtam Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupa Nugagoriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhattadash Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shikshetra Mandala, Gora Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki jai. Shri Krishna Arjuna ki jai. And tomorrow will be Gita Jayanti. So Gita Jayanti Adivastiti ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Dandavat Pranam everybody. Madhavi Didi, Gargaraj ji. So I decided last minute not to read from Srimad Bhagavatam today because this chapter 46 in Srimad Bhagavatam is so important. Uddhav going to Vrindavan, and so I didn't want to read like part of it and then have a gap in between and then read it again. I think it's good just to read it all in one go, and it'll take 2 days to read it. And since tomorrow will be Gita Jayanti, I thought it would be nice to start preparing ourselves for that day. Actually, what I was thinking to do was to this morning start a Bhagavad-gītā recital. I want to divide it into 3 parts. So you know how Bhagavad-gītā, it begins with Karma Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga in the middle, and then Jnana Yoga at the end. And so I thought to divide it into those 3 parts. And yeah, I sent Indira Mataji a message about this. I was thinking that we could recite it today, starting today, like so the day before Gita Jayanti. And then on the day we would recite the middle part, the part about Bhakti Yoga, and the day after Gita Jayanti. So we divide it among into 3 days. But anyways, I want to hear what you think. Should I? Because I have 2 options. One, I think it would be nice to divide it into 3 parts and give a little break in between each part. Otherwise, it's too exhausting. And what I want to do is read the verse and the translation. Read the verse and translation rather than just reading all the verses through. So that's why I'm thinking of breaking it into 3 parts. So I could start tonight reading at around maybe 6 o'clock this evening. And then during our normal reading time, maybe I'd start a little bit earlier, 7 o'clock in the morning rather than 7:30. And then the day after tomorrow, I could then read again. Or what we can do is I start reading tomorrow morning rather than starting today. I'd start tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and do the first part. Then in the evening time, I could do the Bhakti Yoga part tomorrow evening, and then the day after tomorrow in the morning, during this time, during our morning reading time, I could do the last part. So tell me what you would prefer. Would you prefer me starting today, this evening, or would you rather me start at this time tomorrow? Yeah, let me know, and I will check. Dandavat pranams Indira Mataji and Bhavatarani Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, and Manjari Didi, Hari Bol. So I'm going to read this article by my Param Gurudev, Gītopaniṣade, Ātma-nivedana. Oops, where is it? I just opened it. One second. Here it is. Okay. What's going on? Okay, there. And this is published in Raise of the Harmonist, issue number 10, summer 2002. Self-surrender in Bhagavad-gītā, Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava. The Arya Rishi glorified Srimad Bhagavad-gītā as Upanishad Chudamani, the crest jewel of all the Upanishads. In comparison to other Upanishads, Sri Gita specifically establishes Bhagavan's Lila Mayatva. That's Sri Bhagavan's being endowed with Lila, with transcendental pastimes. Also in the verses that sing the glories of Gita in the Gita Mahatma, it has been described as the essence of all Upanishads. There's this famous verse, Sarva Upanishadogavo Dogda Gopalanandarto Vatsa Dhirbhokta Dugdam Gitam Ritam Mahat. This Gītopanişade, this Bhagavad-gītā, the essence of all the Upanishads, is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad-gītā. That's Gita Mahatma verse 6. The speaker of Gita, which is part of Mahabharata, is Devaki Nandan Sudeva. However, in the above verse, it is said, Dogdha Gopalanandana. That is, the milkman, the speaker, is Goparaj Nandan Krishna. Goparaj is Nanda Baba, and Nandan means son. So Nanda Nandan Krishna. It is thus clearly understood that Vrajendra Nandan Vrindavan Bihari Shri Krishna alone is the speaker of Shri Gita. Although he has spoken Gita in his Vasudeva form, his own sentiments have revealed his real Rasamay Swarup. Our Goswami indicated in their literatures that another name of Mother Yashoda is Devaki, and Devaki Putra, the son of Devaki, is indeed another name of Yashoda Putra. Although Devaki Putra Vasudeva is apparently Devaki Putra Vasudeva is apparently the speaker of Shri Gita, Shri Nanda Nandan Krishna is the actual speaker. Okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow at this time. I'll start rather than today. Dandavat Pranam, Ganga Mataji. By discussing the beginning, the conclusion, and so on of Shri Gita, it can be understood that Shri Krishna alone is the supreme. He is the Paramadeva and the topmost worshipable reality. He is worshipped only by bhakti, and prem bhakti is the climax of that worship. Now we will discuss the nature and development of Ātma-nivedana, self-surrender, explained in Shri Gita. From an external point of view, the instructions of Gita are universal. From karmarpan, offering the results of activities, up to sharanagati, up to surrender, and Ātma-nivedana, full self-surrender. Everything related to bhakti is sung there in condensed form. Ātma-nivedana is of two kinds: ordinary, common, and extraordinary, uncommon. In Śrīla Bhakti Sandarbha, Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī Mahārāja has classified these two types of Ātma-nivedana. Ordinary Ātma-nivedana is bhavam vina. It is devoid of any sthāyi bhav, or permanent mellow, permanent relationship with Krishna. And extraordinary Ātma-nivedana is bhav vaishishtena cha. It is endowed with specific bhav, or a permanent mellow, your permanent relationship with Krishna. Tade tatma nivedanam bhavam vina bhava vaishishtena cha drishyate. That's Bhakti Sandarbha Anuched 309. To illustrate the first type, the ordinary Ātma-nivedana, Jiva Goswami has quoted the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:29-34. Martyo yada tyakta samasta karma niveditatma vichikirshito me tadamritatvam pratipadyamano mayatma bhuyaya chakalpite vai. A person who gives up all fruitive activities and offers himself entirely unto me, eagerly desiring to render service unto me, achieves liberation from birth and death, and is promoted to the status of sharing my own opulences. To illustrate the second type, Bhava Vishishta Ātma-nivedana, he has quoted the statement of Sri Rukmini Devi in the verse, Tanme bhavam kalu vrita patir gajayam atmar pitas cha bhavato travibho videhi ma vira bhagam abhimar shatu chaidya arad go mayuvan mrigapater balim ambujaksha. Therefore, my dear Lord, I have chosen you as my husband, and I surrender myself to you. Please come swiftly, O Almighty One, and make me your wife. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, let Shishupal, who is like a jackal stealing the property of a lion, never touch the hero's portion. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:52-39. So I just want to read this because the first, so the ordinary Ātma-nivedana is a person who gives up all fruitive activities and offers himself entirely unto me, eagerly desiring to render service unto me, achieves liberation from birth and death, and is promoted to the status of sharing my own opulences. That's ordinary Ātma-nivedana, not based on the permanent relationship with Krishna. And then this example of Rukmini is the permanent Ātma-nivedana. The Ātma-nivedana that's based on one's sthāyi bhav. Okay. Here the word bhava means sambandha, relationship in terms of raganuga bhakti in dasyaras, sakyaras, and so on. According to Bhakti Sandarbha, verse 309, bhava vaishishtena refers to the four bhav. According to Bhakti Sandarbha, verse 309, bhava vaishishtena refers to four bhavs. That is dasya, sakya, vatsalya, and madhur bhav. The Ātma-nivedana at the lotus feet of Bhagavan, which is endowed with any of these four bhavs, or specific relationships, is bhava yukta Ātma-nivedana. And the Ātma-nivedana that is performed at the lotus feet of Bhagavan before the awakening of any of these four bhavs is called bhavhīna Ātma-nivedana. Yukta means endowed with, and heen means devoid of. So that's Ātma-nivedana, characterized by bhav, and the other is Ātma-nivedana without bhav, without one of these four relationships. Bhavhīna Ātma-nivedana devoid of bhav is visible in the life of Sri Bali Maharaj. And Sri Jivapad has shown, Jiva Goswami has shown this elsewhere in his Sandarbha. Shri Bali Maharaja's dasya is bhavhina dasya. That means devoid of any bhav or sambandha, and it is not raganuga dasya. The most confidential and the most confidential and topmost instruction of Gita is Sarva Dharmam Paritya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Ahang Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishami Ma Suchaha. Completely abandoning all body and mental dharma, such as varna and ashram, fully surrender to me alone. I shall liberate you from all reactions to your sins. Do not grieve. That's Bhagavad-gītā 1866. The shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam beginning Martyo Yada Tyakta Samasta Karma, quoted by Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī as an example of Bhavahina Ātma-nivedana, and the Shloka Sarva Dharmam Parityaja, which is the topmost instruction of Gita, convey the same meaning. Whoa, so those are both Bhavahina Ātma-nivedana. Interesting. Ātma-nivedana, devoid of your permanent relationship with Krishna. Moreover, ahang tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami ma suchaha is only the explanation of the words vichikirshito me, desirous of doing something special. Sorry, that also clearly instructs bhavahina Ātma-nivedana for the common masses. Now we have to consider whether or not the indication or hint of bhava-yukta Ātma-nivedana is given in Gita. An intelligent lover, who is the object of love for everyone, will speak to common people in a general way about affectionate service to him. If his beloved is also present among the general people, then in the midst of his general topics, he will hint to his beloved in a hidden manner about how to please him in a special way. So in a secret way, he'll convey something like a cryptic way. Nobody else can understand in the assembly, but the beloved will understand. Although ordinary people will be unable to understand such hints, those who are extraordinarily dear to him will certainly be able to comprehend them. Similarly, Vidagdha Chudamani, the crest jewel of intelligent lovers, Gopala Nandana Shri Krishna, while aiming at ordinary people, has given hints about extraordinary service or extraordinary Ātma-nivedana, Bhava-yukta Ātma-nivedana, for those who are so desirous. What to speak of karmis, of fruit of workers? Even Jnana Mishra Bhaktas cannot understand such hints. On the other hand, Bhaktas who do extremely intimate relationship with him in Raganuga Bhav not only comprehend his hints about Bhava-yukta Ātma-nivedana, but also realize his clear instructions on the subject. In the 10th canto, Shri Rukmini Devi prays to Shri Krishna in her letter, Tan me bhavan kalu vritta patir anga jayam. I accept you as my husband and fully dedicate myself, Ātma-nivedana. I fully dedicate myself at your lotus feet. Here, Ātma-nivedana is performed by possessing Kanta Bhav, a conjugal relationship in the heart. One second, I'm just making sure everything's still running, and I forgot to check my mic. Okay. Yes, it is totally such an important commentary for any aspiring sadhak. Essential. Hare Krishna Shasharmaji and Yashji and Janardhan Prabhu Haribol. Okay, so that is that prayer of Rukmini Devi is Ātma-nivedana of Kantabhav, a conjugal relationship in the heart. Bhava-yukta Ātma-nivedana is clearly expressed in Bhagavad-gītā chapter 10 verses 9 to 10 and also chapter 11 verse 44. There, Sri Bhagavan has said, Machchita margata prana bodhayantya parasparam katayantaschamam nityam tushyanti cha ramananti cha. Sorry, tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Okay, so this is the secret cryptic message in Bhagavad-gītā that is meant for those Raganuga Bhaktas. Those whose minds are absorbed in me and whose lives are wholeheartedly devoted to my service derive great satisfaction and bliss from constantly enlightening one another about my tattva and performing kirtan of my name, form, qualities, and pastimes. That was Gita 10.9. Tesham satatayuktanam pritipurvakam tadami buddhiyogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Upon those who perform bhajan to me with love, yearning for my eternal association, I bestow the transcendental knowledge by which they can come to me. That's the next verse, Gita 10.10. Here, Krishna is saying, whose minds and lives are devoted to me and who always meditate on me, always speak about me and derive satisfaction in me alone. Their minds feel relaxation and comfort only by thinking about me, and they are constantly desirous of perpetual union with me. I bestow upon such bhaktas buddhi yoga, transcendental intelligence and knowledge by which they can attain me. Most Gita commentators, including Śrīla Swamipad, explains these two shlokas from the perspective of the common people only. However, Vidagdha Shiromani Shri Krishna cannot check himself from speaking the core instructions, even in the midst of speaking his general instruction. That essential instruction is to render Vishramba Seva, intimate loving service unto him. These commentators give a general explanation of the component Ramanticha in their purport, which is similar to the explanation of Tushyanticha. Thus, there remains no specific significance to the phrase Ramanticha. However, unless there is a specific meaning to these words, there would have been no reason for Krishna to use them. It would be redundant, right? Śrīla Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu and Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur have therefore excluded the general meaning of Ramanticha and have only explained its specific meaning through its verbal root, which carries its innate meaning. Ram Dhatu, that is, the verbal root Ram, means krida, sport or. Use of the verbal root Ram not only indicates bhava yukta Ātma-nivedana, but it indeed also indicates the topmost among all bhavs, madhur bhava yukta Ātma-nivedana. That means Ātma-nivedana, which is endowed with the permanent emotion of madhuras, of conjugal relationship. Śrīla Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu has said in his commentary, Ramanti cha yuvati smita katakshadishu eva yuvanaha. Ramanti cha yuvati smita katakshadishu eva yuvanaha. Only that Ātma-nivedana that is characterized by accepting Bhagavan as the object of madhur priti, is referred to here. Madhur priti means conjugal love. So that is what is being referred to here with Ramanti cha. That kanta bhav, that conjugal relationship, has the attributes of smiles, sidelong glances, and so on. Yuvati smita katakshadishu. Śrīla Jiva Goswami Pad quotes a part of Sri Rukmini Devi's letter, Tan me bhavan kalu vrittapatir, as an example of bhava yukta Ātma-nivedana, which has the same meaning as the inner meaning of the Ramanticha portion of the Gita shloka. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a similar meaning for Ramanticha. He explains that Raganuga Bhakti is expressed in these words of Bhagavan. The only satisfaction and delight of the Ananya Bhaktas, of the one-pointed devotees, is the performance of bhakti. This is the secret. Even in the stage of sadhana, they attain satisfaction by the unobstructed performance of bhajan. While meditating on their future stage of perfection, the sadhya dasha, they experience delight. In other words, they enjoy with their Prabhu, Krishna, within their minds. In Arjuna's words, Itteva putrasya sakeva sakyuhu priya priyayarsi deva shodhum. O Deva, just as a father forgives his son, a friend tolerates a friend, or a lover excuses his beloved, please forgive all my offenses. That was in chapter 11, verse 44. Here, the subject of Ātma-nivedana that is endowed with dasya, sakya, vatsalya, and madhur bhavs clearly expressed. Yes. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Here, the prominent Mahajans, Śrīla Baldev Vijibhushan and Śrīla Chakravarti Pad, express that buddhi yoga is suggestive only of bhav yukta sadhan. That's sadhan endowed with bhav, your relationship with Krishna, of one of those four relationships. Śrīla Baldev Vijibhushan Prabhu states in his commentary, I am Swabhakti Rasik, the enjoyer of the ras derived from the happiness of my own bhakti. And I bestow upon my devotees that buddhi yoga by which they attain me. I inspire their buddhi in such a manner that they can understand me who am replete with unlimited qualities and majesties. Thus they can attain me by their worship. Buddhi means intelligence. So I inspire their intelligence in such a manner that they can understand me, who am replete with unlimited qualities and majesties. Thus they can attain me by their worship. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has said in his purports to this verse, I bestow upon them buddhi yoga. I inspire that buddhi yoga within their heart's tendencies. That buddhi yoga cannot be achieved by individual efforts, nor can it be obtained from anyone else. It is bestowed by me alone, and only such bhava-yukta sadhaks can receive it. This is the meaning of Krishna's words. That was translated from Shri Gauriya Patrika 2.8. So basically, I bestow upon them buddhi yoga, the intelligence of how to engage in Raganuga Bhakti. I inspire that within their heart's tendencies. Raganuga sadhana, I mean. All right. Wow. Looks like there's still some time, though. It's 8:09. Let me see if... I know Śrīla Bhakti Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja also explains this verse. Let me see if I can find... I just remember reading something a long time ago. I don't remember specifically what it was, but let me find it. Ramanticha. That was one of the early rays of the Harmonists, and I can see they didn't really edit it that much. It's pretty rough. Okay. Okay, this is from part 2, chapter 8 of Shikshashtakam. Okay. I am the real criminal. You are the master of everything. No explanation can be demanded from you. You are Swami. You are my husband and master, and I am your maidservant. It may be that for some time you were engaged in some other quarter, but what's the harm in that? What is the fault? What is the fault in you for that? That does not matter, for that right is given to you by scripture and society. There is no crime, no sin on your part. You have done nothing wrong. This is based on the last verse of Shikshashtakam. Ashlishava pararatam punashtumam. I am the real criminal. The meanness is with me. The defect is wholly with me. You are not responsible for our separation. So why do you consider that you are faulty or that you have committed some wrong? The positive proof that I am the real criminal is that I sustain my life. I did not die from the pangs of your separation. I am showing my face to the world, but I am not faithful to you. I do not approach the standard of faith which I should have maintained for your love. So I am the criminal, not you. It has been expressed in the scriptures by the saints that the wife should be thankful and exclusively devoted to the husband. This has been ordained in the scriptures. A woman should be devoted exclusively to her husband, her Lord. So in this meaning, I should fall at your feet and beg for your pardon, for your forgiveness, that I really have no love for you. I am maintaining this body and showing my face to society. I am not a proper partner for you, so please forgive me. You are begging my forgiveness? You're begging my forgiveness. This is just the opposite of how things should be. What is this? Please don't do this. This should be the ideal of our affection for Krishna. We, the finite, should take this attitude towards the infinite. At any time, he may only give a little attention to us, but we should be all attentive towards him, and there is no alternative. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises that we have exclusive devotion towards Krishna, and as we are insignificant, our attitude must be of this type. If we want such a great thing, then it is not an injustice that we should be treated hatefully. Our prospect, understanding, and adjustment must be that of self-sacrifice and self-forgetfulness. Just as when someone goes to fight for his country on the battlefield, there is no room for luxury or excessive desires. I remember in this connection that when Gandhi formed his nonviolence army, one of the volunteer soldiers asked, "Please arrange tea for us." Gandhi told him, "The water of the river may be supplied to you, but no tea. If you are ready for that, then come forward." If we want to connect ourselves with the Vrindavan Leela of Krishna, we can make no conditions. Then we shall understand the method recommended by Sriman Mahaprabhu, humility greater than that of a blade of grass. There should be no complaint from our side, not only in the external position of our present life, but even in eternal life. Any complaint from our side should be carefully eliminated, and we must fully accept the ways of the Lord. Krishna may accept us or reject us. We have to take that risk. Only then may we make progress. Sorry. In some way or other, if we can enter the group of Krishna servitors, we will find that everyone has such a nature, and when they meet together, they will console each other in their respective groups. In different serving relationships, there are different sections of servitors of a similar nature, and they console each other with talk of Krishna Katha. In Bhagavad-gītā 10:9 and 12, Krishna says, this is the verse we just went over, Mad chitta margata prana bodhayantya parasparam katayantas chamam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. My devotees mix together, talk about me, and exchange thoughts that give consolation to their hearts. And they live as if this talk about me is their food. It gives them a high kind of pleasure, and they find that when they talk about me among themselves, they feel as if they are enjoying my presence. Tesham evanukampartam aham agyanajam nashayamyatma bhavasto jnana dipena pasvata. When sometimes the feeling of separation for me is very acute in my devotees, I suddenly appear before them and quench their thirst for my company. Reading this is so nice. Sweetness within pain. In this last verse of his Shikshashtakam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given another very fine and high type of solace. And this has been confirmed by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who has written, Bahye Visha Jwala hoy, Bhitare Anandamoy, Krishna Premar Adbhuta Charita, Krishna Premar Adbhuta Charitra. Don't be afraid. Outwardly, you may feel a horrible pain of separation, but internally, you will feel an unparalleled type of ras, the most pleasing feeling of peace, joy, or ecstasy. Externally, there may be pangs of separation, but internally, there is the greatest satisfaction. In this way, we are advised by the scriptures, and our practical experience corroborates our faith in this subtle manner. The English poet Shelley has written, Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. The sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. Wow, that's beautiful. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. When we are reading an epic where there is cruel separation between the hero and the heroine, it is so sweet to us that although we shed tears, still we cannot leave the book. When we hear about the pangs of Sita Devi, how Ramchandra banishes her and leaves her uncared for in the forest, although she is with child, this is very painful. We shed tears, but still we read on. There is sweetness within pain. It is possible. Separation from Krishna is like that. The special characteristic of Krishna Prem is this. Externally, we feel extreme pain, like lava, but internally, our heart is filled with some extraordinary ecstatic joy. This is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. As much as we can catch the meaning of his instructions, we shall be prepared for that kind of life. This is the fare to go to Vrindavan. And when we are introduced to so many others like us, then our joy knows no bounds. When we meet others who have the same nature and mind as us, we get solace from them. We need not be afraid. In spite of all these things, we should think firmly in spite of all these things, we should think firmly that that is our home, and we should want to go back to home, back to Godhead. We are not foreigners there. Here we are foreigners. Every man treats me in any way he likes. But Vrindavan is most hopeful and full of the highest prospect. It is our place of inner satisfaction. We aspire after that. We cannot but continue aspiring for our real home. What is real joy and ecstasy? We are not acquainted with that. This is our present trouble. Yet, as much as we progress in Krishna consciousness, we shall become conscious of a practical feeling of real joy and ecstasy, beauty and charm. And in this way, we shall become more and more encouraged. Yamunacharya says, I don't know the meter for this. Yad avadi mama cheta krishnapadaravinде nava nava rasa dhammanyudyatam rantumasit. tadavadi patanan sangame smarame ramane bhavati mukha vikara shushtu nisti vanam cha. Before I came in touch with the Krishna love of Vrindavan, worldly pleasure was of much importance to me. But now, if any mundane tastes come in my memory, my face becomes disfigured, and I spit at the thought. So if we get a slight taste of that ecstasy, then at once we come to the conclusion that there can be no comparison between that and any piece of pleasure here in this mundane world. At the same time, once we are settled in that atmosphere, no pain can disturb or affect us in any way. There's another side also. Although we are advised to be prepared for painful separation, the fact is not so cruel in reality. Krishna says, Mai te teshu chapyaham. I am always with my devotees. Wherever there's an exclusive devotee, Krishna is there like his shadow, always invisibly moving after him. This is the Lord's nature. Aham bhakta paradhino yasvatantra iva dvija sadhubir grasta hridayo bhakter bhakta jana priya. Anyways, I'll check it after. The Lord tells Dhruva. Sorry, I'm just seeing if this is like really important. Anyways, I'll check after. Okay, the Lord tells Dhruva, I am the slave of my devotees. I have no freedom apart from their will. Because they are completely pure and devoted to me, my heart is controlled by them, and I reside always in their hearts. I am dependent not only on my devotees, but even on the servants of my devotees. Even the servants of my devotees are dear to me. Krishna is not a sweet ball. We must be prepared for any unfavorable circumstances, but we must not be discouraged. Krishna is most affectionate. His care towards us is most acute and sincere. His affection towards us has no rival. Still, Sriman Mahaprabhu has given us a warning in this verse. You are coming to search after Krishna? Krishna is not a sweet ball from the markets that you can purchase and finish so easily. You are trying to attain the highest of the high, so you must be prepared for anything. At the same time, the devotees will come to us saying, have no fear. We are all like you. Let us all walk together in a straight line. Don't be afraid. We are here. We are told that Krishna's devotees are even more sympathetic to us than Krishna himself. The solace of our life and our fortune is his devotees. And Krishna says, Mar bhaktanam chaye bhakta. One who is a servant of my servant is my real servant. Sadhu Sangha, the association of saints, is the most important and valuable thing for us. To make our advancement and progress towards the infinite, our association is our guide. It is all important. We must stick to this conclusion. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastre Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. The conclusion has been given in the scriptures that all perfection can be attained by the help of the saints. Good association is our greatest wealth in reaching that supreme goal. Good association is our greatest wealth in reaching the supreme goal. Wow, that is beautiful. That's from the Golden Volcano of Divine Love by Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Wow, I want to read the whole book now. Maybe we can do that in the evening times we can read. Oh my God, Uttamru keeps on calling me. Anyways, one second. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Guru Dev Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Shishimad Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gorkishtaras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Anuga Goriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dashagunath Shara Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shila Hairas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavad-gītā Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keśava Shacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranam, everybody. Haribol Raseshwari Mataji and Sudevi Didi and Raj Bhuvan Yadav ji. And I don't know how to say your name, but yeah, Dandavat Pranams. Oh, wait, so Indira Mataji said, actually, I've changed my mind. If you start today, your video will be put up by tomorrow, and more can benefit from listening. Yes. I don't actually know. I'm a bit torn. Maybe I should. I don't know. It depends, actually. If people. Seshwari Mataji, is Akadashi for you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow? Yeah, let me know. Because if it's tomorrow, then maybe it's good if I read tonight, because then it will be the morning for you, right? Although now I'm starting to feel a little inclined starting tomorrow morning, because then more people will join. And then once you've started Bhagavad-gītā, then you'll know, because I didn't announce it way beforehand. Okay, it is tomorrow. Then maybe I should start tonight then. If I start tonight, then I'll start at 6 p.m. I think that's a good time. Or that's really early for you in the West, isn't it? Is it too late if I start at, maybe I'll start at 6:30. That will be 6 o'clock in the morning. That will be 6 o'clock in the morning for you, right? Raseshwari Mataji? 6 in the evening here will be 6:30 in the evening here will be 6 o'clock in the morning PM for, I think so. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna start tonight, this evening, and then yeah. Then the first thing. Okay, cool. I'll put an announcement up on Facebook. All right, Dandavat Pranam, everybody. See you all in. Right now it's 8:30 a.m. and I will start at 6:30 p.m. Means I'll probably finish at around, I'm guessing 9:30 p.m. Hopefully that's not too late for some of you. All right, Haribol. Oh, that's 5:30. Yikes. Okay. Huh. Anyhow, we'll just check Facebook, and also if you're in our WhatsApp group, our Srimad Bhagavatam WhatsApp group, I'll put an announcement in there also. So on Facebook and Srimad and our WhatsApp group, then we can figure it out. All right, Haribol, everybody. Jai Shri Radhe.